Singing that. Hi, my name is Shirley Herbert. I've been living here in Knoxville for the past 10 plus years. I moved from the DC area where I lived for probably 15 plus years. I'm currently working with my sister, alterations during the day, and at night I'm your jazz singer.
All right, so let's start with so where were you born?
Born in West Virginia. I'm a mountain girl.
Okay, so
Go Mounties.
So talk about your child. What was your child? Well, first of all, how long were you there in West Virginia before you
Let's
moved?
see. I actually lived in West Virginia until almost 16.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved here to Knoxville.
Okay.
I went to high school at Bearden for 2 years.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I did music all through that, all city, all state. You know, repping our choir, and so I've lived here for quite a while, on and off.
Okay, so talk about your childhood and what was it like growing up in West Virginia?
Growing up in West Virginia, I come from a family of 9.
Wow.
And my mother was actually my first music teacher, as well as our pianist at our church. So I grew up in the choir stand with my siblings. 9 kids, we made up the majority of the choir.
Indeed.
So those are my roots. My dad is actually a blues guitarist.
Okay, and what was it like growing up in West Virginia at that time?
Well, when you don't know any different, as a child, it was magical. It was fun, all outdoors, running around and making a lot of music. Stayed in the church. Mom played at home. And just living a good old country, simple lifestyle.
Okay, and so what was it like as you progressed into your teenage years?
I was always a dreamer. Always read a lot, and always had the desire to see the world. Yeah.
So did you have a occupation in mind back then?
I always thought I'd be a singer.
Really? Okay.
Always, yeah.
Okay.
I grew up, the little girl dream being on the big stage one day and doing that. And honestly, that's really about it.
Okay.
As far as career.
And so where did you go to college?
I went to WVU.
Okay.
Yeah, I sang in the choir there. I fell in love and out of love and left school a little bit too early. But I was in the performing choir there, which I did for 2 years, which was a lot of fun.
Okay, so were you a music major in college?
No. But
Okay.
I was one of those who, they actually didn't like me because I wasn't a music major. But I was able to do everything they did.
Okay.
Including performing in the choir, because most of them are, music majors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so at what point did you move to DC? And why did you move to DC?
Well, the road that led me to DC is that I was a military spouse.
Okay.
So we were stationed at the Pentagon.
Oh, wow.
And so we were actually there twice. 1 year, and then we came back and we retired there. So a long history with DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what years were you in DC?
Oh, gosh. 2000, early 2000s on. Yeah.
Okay. And were you singing and performing then in DC?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Did a lot of music in DC. Worked with a lot of different musicians, a lot of different genres of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you performing then, and who were some of the musicians that you were working with in DC?
Back then, I worked with a little different kind of thing. We did Afrobeat. So I worked with a lot of Nigerians.
Okay.
Actually. So I learned about a type of music that I knew nothing of. And prior to moving to DC, we were stationed in Hawaii. So there I did a lot of different music as well. I worked with a Fijian artist. His name actually is Fiji. I worked with him for 6+ years.
Okay.
And so that kind of opened my mind and my ear to music that I didn't know anything about, but I'm a curious person.
Oh,
so, yeah.
And feel free to expound as much as you want on any.
Okay.
No answer is too long.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you said you were in DC for 12 years?
Plus.
12
Yeah,
plus
on and
years?
off, yeah.
Okay, and so when did you move to Knoxville, and what brought you to Knoxville?
Actually, my reasoning for moving to Knoxville was personal. we'd had a lot of deaths in the family. My brother and my mom. I went through the divorce, and my sister was here alone, so it just seemed like a wise decision to move back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You said move back.
Well, I lived here as a teenager.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So refresh me on the timeline again. So
I went to high school. Now you want me to tell you my age.
No.
See, I don't know about that one again. It was a while ago. So I went to high school in Bearden.
Okay.
We don't have to give the year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. But yeah, I came back here and just kind of hit the music scene and picking up speed.
Okay. So you said your sister was here.
Yeah.
Now, when did she move?
Oh, gosh.
So she went to school here as well?
No. TVA is actually what brought she and her husband here.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's been here for over 40 plus years.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's a Knoxvillian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So talk a little bit about the business that you two do together.
My sister has been doing alterations and primarily special occasion weddings. She specializes in. There's not a wedding probably that anyone goes to that she hasn't touched someone's clothing.
Okay.
She's been doing it forever. I came in after her husband passed, and she was kind of floundering on her own to take up the business side of it, to kind of grow the business, polish it up a little bit, get it more efficient. So I do all of the booking, I do some fittings, not many.
Okay.
But most of the business aspect of it, running the shop, day-to-day operations.
And what's the name of the business?
Sandra G's Alterations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you moved back to Knoxville. What year was that?
Oh, gosh. I try to forget years because it ages you, Kenneth. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me for numbers. It's been, I think, 12, 13 years.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so when you moved back, did you kind of immediately jump back into singing, or did it take a while? Or
Well, it took a while. I went, of course, back to my home church, started singing back with my choir, started singing with the community choir, met Evelyn Jack.
Oh, yeah.
And she kind of started inviting me to come out, and that's kind of what started the ball rolling, actually, when I saw you guys at the Red Piano.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, yes, there's jazz in Knoxville. Woo!
And so at what point did you actually get back to performing in Knoxville? Like, how long were you here before you kind of got back
It didn't really
scene?
take that long. And actually, again, it was with Evelyn. I had gone to see her downtown. I'd gone to see her downtown at the Bistro by the Bijou. I always get that one wrong. And she was playing with a couple players, and I met her guitarist, Phil Hardison. He had some things going on. I think you might be a good fit. Gave me a call, and it's been just rolling from there.
Okay. And talk about, well, first of all, like, what is your musical background as far as stylistically?
Oh, gosh. I think I'm a little all over the plate. In Hawaii, they call it a mixed plate because you get a little bit of everything. So I've done the classical, the choral. I've done, of course, gospel. Those are my roots. Jazz, I've kind of matured into. I've done R&B. Jamaican, they call it in, which is Jamaican and Hawaiian kind of blended. It's kind of a reggae kind of blend.
Okay.
Caribbean, yeah. And whatever, I've done country. I did my stint in Nashville, did that for a minute. Just love music and not afraid to try different things.
Oh, yeah. So who are some of the musicians here that you would say you most frequently perform with?
I work with most acoustic sets. So I work with David Bivens, David Slack, Phil Hardison, Marcel Holman, saxophone. I've worked with, oh my gosh, let's see, trumpet player, I can't think of it, Joe Jordan. Joe, sorry. I love you. Joe Jordan, amazing musician. A lot of Davids for some reason. Still waiting to play with you.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we have plans.
Yeah. So talk about your set list when you're performing. Name some of the songs and artists that you're performing songs from.
We do a lot of the classics. You're going to hear some Nina Simone. You're going to hear some Ella. You're going to hear Shirley's take on some, not necessarily jazz song, but jazzy tunes, you know? We kind of slow it down and mix it up, trying to make it more contemporary so we don't put you to sleep. But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is this a big one?
Not necessarily. Just test your memory a little bit.
That might be a big one for me.
So do you remember the first concert that you ever attended?
Yes.
Who was it?
It was Andre Crouch.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, my brother took me to see him in Bluefield, West Virginia, at the Coliseum.
And when was that?
Oh gosh, it was, honestly, and that was so long ago because I was a little girl.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was my first memory, and actually my second was actually here in Knoxville, and it was the Doobie Brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so second question is, what's the first concert that you remember attending that like really had an impact on you musically?
Wow, that actually has happened a few times. I had the opportunity to see Rochelle Farrell.
Okay.
In D.C. I actually went to see her a few times.
Uh-huh.
It's like being plugged into electricity. She's amazing. Mesa was another that I saw. And then probably with jazz, that was in Hawaii, and I cannot remember. I have to come back to that one because I can't think of the artist's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, who are some of your favorite singers and why?
Ooh, favorite singers. I would have to say Roberta Flack.
Okay. And why?
Singer-songwriter. I love the way she emotes, tells a story. Her music transports you there. I like to write, so it's easier for me to connect with music when there's a storyline that I can connect to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and feel. Who else? Anita Baker. She was just so different, soulful, and kind of a cross between R&B and jazz. So it kind of got a younger ear listening to a kind of music I wasn't that familiar with, but it was more contemporary, that had R&B in it, but it still had that old jazz feel.
Yeah.
Love Sade. I call her Sadie. It's my girl. Again, incredible band. She developed her own sound. I like a signature. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And what are some of your, and I'm not asking you to name like a top 5, just what are some of your favorite songs and why?
Oh. There's actually a Patsy Cline song that I love.
Okay.
I'm from West Virginia, so we listen to a lot of country.
Yeah.
It was one of my mom's favorite songs, "Walking After Midnight." That one.
Okay.
I know it's a little random. Stormy Weather. Lita Horne was one of. I just thought she was an amazing, beautiful, multi-talented actress and singer. Anything Whitney sang. One day when I grow up, I kind of want to be something like her. Yeah.
So talk about your songwriting. Talk about some of the songs you've written. Maybe talk about the ones that mean the most to you for whatever particular reason, and the reasoning and inspiration behind those songs.
Out of all the songs that I've written, that I've had the opportunity to record, Dare to Dream is my favorite. I was actually sitting in LAX waiting to fly back to the islands, and the song came to me from beginning to end, and it was actually the answer to a prayer. And it was the dream come true and not to give up.
Okay.
And it stuck with me. Yeah.
And have you recorded that?
I have recorded. I need to re-record it and get it out there.
Okay.
To inspire someone else, because this inspired me.
Okay.
It's like my personal anthem.
Speaking of that, do you have any music that's out that people can check out on some platform?
Not my own. Not my own.
Okay.
I've recorded on a few artists, their projects, but I'm still waiting to release my own. That's my dream.
Okay. So are there any events in your childhood that stand out to you that, well, number one, just influence you as a person heavily, but also influence, you know, the way you think about music or interpret music?
I think growing up in the choir stand and with church, it was always a spiritual connection. So whenever singing, you always want to feel like I'm reaching people, I'm touching someone. So it's very important to me to have that response. I love when I hear, "You made me happy tonight." You sang my husband's favorite song, "He's Gone." You made me remember happy memories.
Yeah.
That's what that did for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's some random questions. Well, what's a song that you put on when you need to feel inspired?
Oh. Ooh. "You Bring Me Joy."
Who's that by?
Anita Baker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about a song that you put on to get you through tough times?
Oh gosh. To get me through tough times, I love "His Eyes on the Sparrow," Lauryn Hill, and I can't remember the girl that she did it with.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of my favorites.
All right. And let's see, one more. What about okay, actually, you know what? We're gonna hold off on that line of question. Okay. So you were taking a road trip. Mm-hmm. Let's make up a number. Let's say 10-hour road trip.
Yeah, it sounds like one I did to Florida. Yeah.
Who's on that playlist for you?
Oh gosh. On my playlist would be, let's see, I'd have some Sade, just because she's smooth and mellow, to get me through like the heavy traffic part of it, because it's soothing. Honestly, I would probably put on something classical to calm my nerves. And if I were to listen to an artist completely from beginning to end, oh man, I don't know who I would put on. Who else would I listen to? I'd definitely put on Whitney. I'll put on my girl Roberta. I like older stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out some names.
Okay.
And you tell me the first thing that this artist's name makes you think of. So it could be the first song that you think of, or album, or just what you think about that artist.
I have to interrupt. I forgot to mention Stevie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All-time favorite.
I feel like
all-time favorite. I kept going to females, but I got to give Stevie his props.
I feel like he got to go without saying.
Right, that is true.
But I actually was gonna say Stevie first. But so Stevie Wonder.
Overjoyed.
Okay. Prince.
Purple Rain.
Shaka Khan.
Through the Fire.
All right. Anita Baker.
You Bring Me Joy.
Okay.
Sweet Love. Keep going.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Donny Hathaway.
Oh. I can't think of the name of the song. Donny Hathaway. I think it's one of the reasons why I love Roberta, because they were such a powerhouse together. It's like back together again. The closer I get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those kind. Yeah.
All right. Marvin Gaye.
Let's get it on.
Aretha Franklin.
Natural Woman.
Okay. All right. So, what do you see coming up in your musical future?
What I would like to see happen is to finish my project. I want to get back in the studio, which is my favorite spot. Continue to write, finish the project and get it out there for everybody to hear.
Okay, so talk about the project and kind of what you have so far, and just the general concept of the project. I mean,
the feel of the
so first of all, is it all original material?
no, we did do a few covers. We did a Elvis cover.
Okay.
And we also did a Minnie Riperton, who again, one of my favorites. Sorry, Minnie, I didn't mention you either. And all the rest were either I wrote one or two, and then I co-wrote with the guy who produced the CD, which his name is Earl Carter. He's a jazz guitarist out of the D.C. area.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing artist, yeah.
Have you been writing recently?
I have not been writing recently. I have not, between working, which takes up way more energy than I would like for it to, it takes away from the music. But I haven't, I did meet someone here, I have to say, who's giving me some tracks to work with.
Okay.
I've been listening to his things, and I'm really interested to see what we can do with that. It's different from what I would normally do. It's a lot more contemporary, which is a challenge for me, and I like a challenge.
Yeah.
Local guy.
All right. What is it that you want people to get from you when they come to see you perform?
I would like to feel that at the end of the day, after listening to me sing, I may have lightened a mood. I may have reminded them of something that made them feel good. That's it. Just made somebody's day sweeter.
Okay. All right, so we can switch gears a little bit. So what do you think the importance of music and art is in society?
To me, music, art, all of it is exceptionally important to all of us. I look at it as being panacea. It's like the antidote for everything wrong. It's God's medicine for us. That's music.
Indeed. So what are some of the changes? So this is a conversation that I'm sure a lot of people have, especially for lack of a better way to say it, older generation versus younger generation.
I would like to say mature and sexy.
But what are some of the changes that you've seen of music over the decades? And, well, how do you feel about those changes? Do you think?
Well, there are a lot of changes. But I think that all of us have a voice and we want to be heard. Just because I don't speak your language doesn't mean that you don't have the right to speak. So not everything is for everybody. And I'm sure that back in the day, I mean, even with my mother being a gospel pianist, and when she first heard contemporary gospel music, she's like, there's no room for that. We don't need all that noise of the church. And, and the kids are like happy. And so it serves a purpose. We have to evolve. Life is fluid.
Indeed.
It is fluid.
What do you think? How do you think? Well, it's a two-part question. How do you think social media has? Well, first of all, okay, this is actually a layered question. How do you think social media has influenced society for the better or worse, and also music and art for the better or worse?
Okay. Well, I can give you a personal account of social media and the importance of when I first moved here and I contacted a Grammy Award winning producer here in Knoxville. The first thing he asked me was, how many followers do you have? He's like, surely the days of going and saying to a record exec, here, listen to my CD. This is what those days are pretty much done.
Yeah.
So it's just a new platform, and you either get with it or you get bypassed. You don't get heard. It's that important.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How has it affected society for the better or worse?
I think all things kind of need a little editing, and social media makes it very easy to put a lot of things out that, I personally don't want to hear. But again, that's the beauty of choice, and it gives a platform for everybody. if you know how to tweak and to do, not my strong point, but you can get yourself out there and heard. And I think that that's, for most of us, no one wants to be invisible.
Indeed.
And especially when you're an artist, you want whatever you do, your voice, your painting, your craft, your arts, you want it to be appreciated by others. That's what we're doing, trying to connect.
Indeed. And so I would say that that's a positive.
Most definitely.
Well, what's a negative?
Well, I think that there's the aspect of it is sometimes, and this is when my age is going to show, that not everything is appropriate and you have access to so much that you can't really monitor.
Yeah.
So that to me is really the only side of it that I don't like. But I think that parents and you just kind of need to monitor like anything else.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So
I can go back to one question that you asked me.
Okay.
You asked me, performance-wise, was there anything that I did stage-wise that made a huge difference in my life? There was actually one. It wasn't stage, but it was actually studio. Mm-hmm. And I worked with Loretta Lynn.
Okay.
That was the first time in Nashville, and she was working on a project. Her husband was actually very ill at that time. So it was very quiet, very small, but I had the opportunity to sit next to her closer than you are to me now.
Okay.
And just to have that experience was mind-blowing, and it opened up a world to music that I didn't really fully understand, but just how large it is and how it could be a career versus just something that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about some of your more memorable performances. Like, are there any times that stand out to like that was just a great night for whatever reason?
I remember one night we were in Maui. This is when I was living in Hawaii, performing with Fiji, and we were at this beautiful resort, and the power went out, and the crowd didn't want to leave. So we sincerely continued the concert on with lights and lighters and acoustic, everything. And it was the most amazing night.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome.
Okay.
Let's see. Another memorable was the Marleys. They came to the islands, and we were to open for them. And Fiji was late getting back again from Maui to come over, so I actually missed the opportunity to perform for them because we were opening for them. But I got the opportunity to meet the band and to be on stage with all of them, which was mind-blowing.
Wow.
Yes, they're a tribe. I mean, even the littlest one ended the show by coming out and doing his rap. I mean,
really?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more you think of?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Performing at Blues Alley. I performed with an artist out of New York, Bob Baldwin. He's a keyboardist, pianist, again, amazing jazz artist. That was pretty awesome. And it was an interesting evening because new artists were being introduced. So there were a few players who came up and kind of sat in and did their thing, and now they're on the charts now. So I was there when it first happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any passions besides music? And what are they?
Let's see. I love to cook. It shows. I love to cook. I really, really love to cook. I'm a huge foodie. My son is actually a professional chef. So
wow.
It rubbed off.
Okay.
It rubbed off. I love to paint, and I love to write.
Okay. Like writing, like what kind of writing do you do?
I write mostly poems.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've had to learn how to turn poetry into, I guess it's the foundation of music, but to put it into a song form is a little bit different.
Okay. Now, when you say cook, now what kind of cook are you? Are you like out of the cookbook, or are you like make up your own recipe?
I'm a little egotistical. I'll reference a recipe.
Okay.
But I like to make it my own.
Okay.
I think that's being an artist.
Indeed. So
we color outside the lines,
like were you ever cook for a restaurant or anything like that?
No, I did work with a chef in Nashville.
Okay.
I worked as an assistant. He actually had a club at the time, so I did like his private catering for that. And then also as his assistant at the club.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Back in my younger years.
All right. Well, what's a fun fact that people may be surprised to know about you?
Oh gosh. Fun fact. Fun fact. I kind of play flute.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Definitely didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
You still got one?
I do. It's kind of multicolored. It needs to be cleaned and probably a little refurbished, but yeah, I'll take it out from time to time.
When's the last time you played it?
Probably last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into some random stuff now.
Okay.
We'll see what. Okay. What's some of your favorite movies that are your favorite because of the soundtrack?
Oh gosh. West Side Story.
Okay.
That's one. I love Grease. That was like the first movie I went to with my boyfriend who ended up being my husband. Oh gosh, that's fun. The Sound of Music.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. What are your favorite TV shows with the best theme song?
Oh boy. I really don't watch a lot of TV.
Okay.
Moving on up. Moving on up. That one. That one sticks out. Gosh, I can't think of a theme song. Fun fact, though, we actually did the theme song for Baywatch when they moved to the island. That was their last season. So one of the songs the songs that I recorded with Fiji on one of his projects, they actually it was a recurring song on the show.
Oh wow! Okay.
She's So Fine.
Yeah, that's another interesting fact. Okay.
Yeah, another interesting fact.
All right. So last but not least,
Yes.
Anything that you want to say to the audience about yourself? It could be, philosophy or just anything you want people to know.
I think for me, it's like music has always been a part of my life. Has been the core of my life, my foundation, and it's so important, I think, for us to continue to keep music alive. It makes such a difference in everyone's world, and I appreciate the opportunity and appreciate having me giving a gift that helps others, and that's what music does.